Chapter 9. The evening had been perfect, no matter how Nia looked at it. Board games, roaring fires, laughter, and Sarah chomping on mince pies, and chatting until early in Boxing Day. Nia longed to stay, and she longed for Sarah to stay, wrapped up in this little Christmas bundle. But she had to get back to London. She'd not learned any of her lines, and there was a small matter of starring in a theatre production. Rehearsal started in January, and she really needed to know her lines by then. And if she stayed in this bubble, she'd start to believe it, and that it could be real, and that Sarah and her, that somehow they'd found love. Nah, that was just crazy to think about. Now, Mam was in the kitchen as Nia headed downstairs, and it was hard to leave normally, and she was hurried off before anyone could cuddle her and make her teary. She had to go. If she stayed, she glanced back up the stairs. Sarah was far too easy to fall in love with. You know, love is a funny thing, Mam said, focused on the sandwiches she was making. They'd be eating turkey for days. It tends to change the way you look at things. Rose-tinted, you mean? Nia leaned on the worktop beside her. No, it shines a light on the good things. Mam buttered the bread and shoved in some stuffing. It brings out the good things in you. You sure? I thought love was supposed to be blind. She stole a slice of turkey and chomped on it. No, lust is blind. Love knows the faults. It just seeks to pull out the good bits. Mam put the turkey in the sandwich and closed it up. It also tends to draw you to it. As in, wasn't like Mam to say a lot. She'd always let her make up her own mind. As in, it opens its arms and your heart responds. She met Nia's eyes, whether you try to ignore it or not. Nia glanced back at the hallway. I don't know her. Not really. We've talked a lot. I know her history, but I don't even know why a doctor like her is here. She chewed on her lip. Does it matter? Mam said and smiled at her. Love makes you feel good, and it wraps you up. Walking away does the opposite. Trust your heart. Nia took the sandwiches and sighed. Dad's taking me to the station. Yes, Mam kissed her on the cheek. Another thing about love is that it calls to you. But it's up to you to listen. Nia hugged her and picked up her bag. She hurried to the 4x4 before she turned around. She couldn't face leaving Sarah or Fredrick. How was that? Merch, Dad said as she got in the car. He navigated them up the frozen lane, intensity in his eyes. You're leaving earlier than usual? Nia nodded, stared out of the window. Her heart strained like she was tearing a plaster from it and burning it in the process. Yeah, work. They passed her crunched-up car. Sarah, clumsy, intelligent, quiet and intense, completely insane over a fictional TV show, and the sweetest, most empathic doctor she'd ever seen. I met your mother in a dance, Dad said, crawling past the car. Knew I loved her the second I set eyes on her. I never did ever talk to a girl before her. He smiled at Mr. Jones's wall. She ram-raided my heart. He glanced her way. Best thing I ever did was ask her to dance. Nia blinked at him. He wasn't a man to talk about feelings, and he didn't avoid them. It just wasn't the Welsh way. Things were done calmly, logically, and it didn't sound a lot like logic. She turned me down. Twice. He slowed to a crawl. I couldn't let her go, but she gave me a chance. He sighed. I took it. You going to? Nia stared at him. Sarah seemed to... Sarah made her feel like she could be who she wanted to be. Who she was inside. Sarah with no idea about dogs, who couldn't pronounce Llanelli or even on mince pies, and was the worst person she'd ever seen at charades. Sarah, who'd asked her to marry her, and weirdly she'd said yes. Her heart strained like it would shatter. She'd meant it when she said yes. She'd really meant it. Stop! He pulled over. Go and get her. Nia shoved open the door and scrambled along the snowy roadway. Mr. Jones stuck his head out. You forget something? She shook her head. No! She scurried by the church, slid over the icy path, and scrambled into the garden. Sarah was at the door with wellies on like she was about to give chase. You were leaving? Nia nodded. She skidded into Sarah's Land Rover and grinned. Felt like ripping my heart out. Mine too. Sarah clinged to the door frame and eyed the path. No, you stay there. One concussion is enough. She slid her way over. I meant it. I meant it when I said yes. Always yes. I can see. How did Sarah know what she meant? Did she? Could she? I meant it too. I can't explain why, and it makes no sense, but I do. I really mean it. I love you. I don't know. I love you. Dwi'n caru ti hefyd. I love you too. Nia pulled Sarah into her arms and pointed up at the mistletoe. Oh, I know that tradition full well. Sarah yanked her in, and she sank into the kiss, her heart bubbling with the joy, her glass full of it, and her soul full of it. The snow fluttered down from the white puffy clouds on the church and on the straw-roofed houses nestled around it, onto the car parked in Mr. Jones's wall. The flakes swirled as if in triumph. Whispered words danced upon it, as if sending up a prayer of thanks, echoing a blissful new hope of two hearts called together. Love didn't need a reason or a tradition, and those words, simple words, captured Christmas in one snowy little village. Love, justice.